Cybercrime involving just identity theft reportedly cost Americans $37 billion in 2010. Crooks have been remarkably successful at getting into U.S. bank accounts. In 2009, 63% of cyber bank account takeovers were successful, with money transferred out of the victim's account. Let's take a look at how cybercriminals do it. First things first, the hacker needs to get into your computer. It may take the form of a phishing email, appearing to be from a legitimate sender, such as UPS or FedEx, your bank, the Better Business Bureau, even your own vendor or customer. It may be a social engineering trick, a visit to a poisoned website, or something else entirely. Hackers have several techniques at their fingertips to compromise your computer. You may assume that your firewall or your antivirus will address all of this. However, you would be wrong. Hackers have the same access to firewall and antivirus technology that you do. And as reported in the New York Times at the beginning of 2013, all such products are now part of the test suites for malware makers. Hackers alpha and beta test their malware against the most up-to-date firewall and antiviruses until they have defeated them, which is how Zeus malware and its variants became so pernicious to financial companies. In terms of your organization, you and your colleagues will likely spot and delete 99% of the phishing emails. But what happens when that 1% gets through? As in the case of South Carolina's Revenue Department in October 2012. How would you, or the guy in charge of checking on these things, even know? The reality is, you have few options. Hackers on purpose design their malware not to draw attention to itself. The longer they can keep it under the radar, the more cyber territory they can infiltrate, and the more they can steal. In the same way you deal with the hoodlum breaking in your glass door by installing a video camera, the only thing you can do in the case of cybercrime is install cyber surveillance, enabling you to gather any and all evidence of the hack attack and its consequences. The second step in the progression of a hack attack is installing malware on your computer for three purposes: logging all keystrokes, periodically taking screenshots, and spreading itself throughout your local network and beyond. The malware will use your own email address and contacts, and your local connections, to disseminate itself as widely as possible. At this point, the hacker waits as the malware on your computer gathers information about you, snaring your online banking credentials. Once they have captured your online banking credentials, the hackers will use them to log into your online banking system and transfer funds out of the account. Now that the hackers have broken into your network and stolen from your bank account, what do? You can ask your bank to replace the money, but they will want proof that it wasn't you, since the funds were transferred using your own credentials. You can ask the local police or FBI to investigate, but they will also want evidence. If you cannot produce evidence, the loss remains your monetary loss. So, how do you recover from such a breach? The answer again is cyber surveillance. With a cyber surveillance system in place, such as an IP copper packet capture appliance, you would have a record of all of the malware emails, all of the communications with the hacker's command and control server, and all of the hacking activities that went through your internet connection in their entirety. You would have the evidence and data necessary to prove to your bank that it wasn't you who transferred your money to Timbuktu, the evidence necessary for the FBI to start an investigation, and the network activity data necessary to conduct network forensics and breach mitigation, and clean up the malware. The packet capture evidence from your cyber surveillance system would be the only concrete proof you have that anything occurred at all. While everything in cyberspace is virtual, the cyber surveillance data on your IP copper is real. Thank you for watching. Please visit us on the web at www.ipcopper.com.